This is the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, keeping you informed about the happenings in Annapolis and the area. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and of course, local weather. The Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Friday, September 13th, 2019. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. It's Friday the 13th. It's a full moon. Steer clear of the emergency rooms. Don't walk under any ladders. And if you see a black cat, walk the other way. Hey, here's a conversation that you don't have too often at the dinner table. Hey, I was driving down Route 50 when I got hit by a plane. Yes, that happened yesterday morning at about 11:20. A private plane identified as a Cessna crashed right near the Freeway Airport, which is right adjacent to Route 50 in Bowie. It struck a small Nissan Versa with two passengers, and miraculously the pilot and the passenger walked away from it. They declined any medical treatment. Presumably they got picked up from the accident scene. The two passengers in the car were transported to a local hospital with very minor injuries. All in all, aside from a little bit of a traffic delay and an FAA investigation, a very lucky day for a pilot and a driver on Route 50 in Bowie. Hey, let's add to our current series of bold midday crimes in Annapolis. On Wednesday afternoon at 5 p.m., in the height of rush hour, I might add, the Annapolis Police Department responded to Forest Drive and Quiet Waters Place. An adult male was walking in the area when he saw three males assaulting another male. He attempted to intervene and step in, and as he did, one of the suspects who was beating the victim took out a pocket knife and cut the Good Samaritan's hand. Right after the cutting, the suspects and the unknown victim fled the area on foot. Annapolis Police Department is not quite sure what to make of that. It is an active investigation, and they're asking you to call them at 410-260-3439 if you have any information. Speaking of the Annapolis City Police Department, go check out the Maryland Crabs podcast. Yesterday at noon, we released an episode with the new top cop in town, Chief Edward Jackson. This is his first long-form interview since becoming chief about a month ago. Have a listen. In more cutting news, and this is actually some court news, a 21-year-old Annapolis man has pleaded guilty to racketeering and weapons offense and confessed that he and other MS-13 members stabbed a 22-year-old to death in August of 2016. Fermin Gomez Jimenez, 21 of Annapolis, wrote in his plea agreement that he helped kill Jose Hernandez Portilla as part of a group assault. Additionally, he admitted that he was involved in an assault that left two men permanently disfigured, and that was actually a machete attack near Quiet Waters Park a couple years ago. And you'll remember that the city and the county were arguing about whose crime it was, and it was determined that the crime actually occurred on county land, which is behind that shopping center that has the Muddy Paws Dog Wash, Domino's Pizza, and that little Quick Mart. The victims were discovered on city property on the front side of that shopping center. And Annapolis is not alone in the sad business news world. This is kind of upsetting from Baltimore. Little Page's Furniture, who I've never been to but I've heard about for years, is shutting their doors in West Baltimore after more than 125 years in business. It's a fourth-generation, family-owned business. It's still in the family. It's been selling furniture in West Baltimore since 1893, and Sarah Little Page just said everything in retail has changed. Like many family-owned businesses in Baltimore, Little Pages has felt the pressure from online sales, and business has declined, as has the neighborhood. Sorry to see any business go out of business, but if anybody is interested in any furniture, they will be liquidating. They expect it to take about 3 months, and you can visit their store at 1317 West Baltimore Street if you are interested. All right, that is about it for the top news today. Please make sure you're checking out eyeonannapolis.net throughout the day. We never know what's coming down the pike. Give a click on that first link in our show notes and find out all the different ways that you can connect with us and we can connect with you. Give us a rating or a review if you're someplace where you can do that, and recommend us to your friends, family, colleagues, and enemies. Other than that, it is Friday. Hang tight. We do have a really big list of suggestions for things that you may want to consider this weekend. But before we get to that, we have George Young with your local DMV weather forecast, and he is coming up in just a minute.
September 28th, the second annual Twist and Stout Festival at Quiet Waters Park along the shores of the South River. Twist and Stout, a Maryland wine, craft beer, food, and arts festival presented by the Anne Arundel County Department of Recreation and Parks along with the Maryland Wineries Association. Sample dozens of craft beers and Maryland wines. There's music all day starring the Groove Spot Band, along with the Naptown Brass Band and Vertigo Red. Watch the Plein Air Painters and shop dozens of artisans, crafters, and food trucks. Tickets are on sale now at twistandstout.org. That's TWISTANDSTOUT.org. September 28th, Twist and Stout at Quiet Waters Park, noon till 6. Tickets at twistandstout.org. Going out? You need the most up-to-date local weather. Here's George Young from DMV Weather in Annapolis with today's forecast.
Hey everyone, this is George with DMV Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Friday, September 13th. After a couple of days with highs in the 90s across the region, temps will be much cooler today with highs in the upper 70s to lower 80s, with a bit of a chance of a scattered shower or storm across the area. Then comes the weekend, and it should be another good one on the whole, with temps in the 80s for highs, along with mixed skies each day and possibly a scattered shower or storm on Saturday. And finally, there's another potential tropical system to watch for, which is the expected development of Humberto somewhere near the Bahamas, which could ultimately present a potential threat to some portion of the U.S. East Coast late next week or weekend, so stay tuned for updates on that one. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DMV Weather. Make it a great weekend out there, and be sure to get our free app on all of your devices by searching for DC MDVA Weather in the Apple or Google App Stores, and also follow us on Facebook and Twitter and on our website at dmvweather.com so you can always stay weather informed.
Suicide prevention starts with everyday heroes like you. Join us Saturday, September 21st at the Navy Marine Corps Stadium in Annapolis as we walk to fight suicide. Be a part of the movement turning hope into action. Funds raised will benefit the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Register today at afsp.org/Annapolis. Together, we can help stop suicide. Go to afsp.org/Annapolis.
Every weekend, there's something exciting going on in the Annapolis area. Be sure to visit eyeonannapolis.net to sign up for a newsletter highlighting all the weekend events. Here are our top picks for this weekend.
Man, this weekend is a tough one, man. I have no idea what I want to do. There is so much great stuff going on. Most of it happening on Saturday to make it even more difficult to figure out what we're doing. But it does get underway tonight at 7 p.m. going till 10 p.m. It is live mariachi at Caliente Grill. Now, if you've never seen true, legitimate mariachi, you need to get out there and check it out. They are asking for reservations if possible. You can give them a call, and if their Facebook event is any indication, they've got 65 people already committed to going, so it ought to be a crowded and fun night at Caliente Grill on Bay Ridge Avenue. Again tonight from 5:30 to 7:30 at Buffalo Wild Wings. It is the Bud Light Golden Ticket for Navy football. Head on over there at their happy hour and you can win some swag. You can win one of those clear bags that'll get you into the stadium. But most importantly, you can win 4 tickets to the game along with free parking. Of course, that goes along with Navy football. They take on East Carolina at 3:30 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. And you want to make sure you're following Eye on Annapolis on Twitter. Want to check out our live blog on the website. And, of course, we're going to have some game updates throughout the game coming right to your device. Go Navy. Hey, if you're into flea markets and such, over at the Pip Moyer Rec Center tomorrow, it is a Trash and Treasures rummage sale. Gets underway at 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. It is free, and you can go through somebody else's trash, which might be your treasure. This is one event that I'm definitely going to make, and I'm looking forward to it. It is the Electric Vehicle Showcase down at City Dock in Annapolis. This is put on by Annapolis Green. There's going to be over 70 cars, electric vehicles that are going to be there, including a police car from Hyattsville. There's going to be a bus from BG&E, and owners of about 70 cars that will be able to talk to you about electric cars, how they drive, how they charge. There's going to be educational seminars, all sorts of things like that. It is free. It gets underway at 11 a.m. and goes till about 5 p.m. at Susan Campbell Park right there at the foot of City Dock. Give a listen to our episode that we did at the Maryland Crabs. We spoke from Elvia from Annapolis Green and Devesh from BG&E, all about electric vehicles and what Maryland and BG&E is doing to facilitate that. It was really actually very fascinating. I learned a whole lot there. On the car theme over at the Annapolis Town Center, again, tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., it is a car show at the Annapolis Town Center. They will have vintage, modern day, classics, muscle cars, you name it. They're going to have it there, right there at Town Center Boulevard. Again, that totally free event. If you like classical music, I've got the answer for you tomorrow night. It is the opening night for the London Town Symphony Orchestra, but this time they put a little bit of a twist on it. It's called Rock On, and it features electric violin, electric bass, as well as electric keyboards in there, and they're going to be playing all sorts of favorites from classical to modern rock. Tickets will be available at the door, and this is taking place at 6:30 p.m. at the Francis Scott Key Auditorium at St. John's College. The show doesn't get underway until 7:30, but the doors do open at 6:30. And if you've never seen the London Town Symphony Orchestra do that, they're a good one. Noon to 7 p.m. down in South County at Harrington Harbor North in Tracy's Landing, it is the Maryland Food Truck Festival. They are going to have 25 food trucks offering Greek, Italian, barbecue, seafood, pizza, Mexican, Mediterranean burgers, Caribbean, Creole desserts, and much, much more. There will be live music, tall, frosty beverages. It is family and kid friendly. So if you're down in South County, why not check that out? Another something to check out in South County on Saturday. This is at the Smithsonian Environmental Research Center off of Conti's Wharf Road. It is the Chesapeake Music Festival. It goes from 2 to 6 p.m. Tickets are $20 per carload, so you can jam as many as you can in there. I don't know if they're going to be inspecting trunks or not, but you can get tickets at whatsuptix.com. If you go and don't buy tickets in advance, it's $30 a carload. This takes place on the grounds of Cirque's 18th century mansion, which overlooks the Chesapeake Bay. You're going to have live performances ongoing in 2 tents all afternoon. They'll have stories telling about local history, food, beer, non-alcoholic beverages. All of that will be there for purchase. It is a zero waste event, which is very cool, with compost and recycling. And finally, if you're looking to get down a little bit with the Coral Reefer Band, well, it's not really the Coral Reefer Band, but it is members of the Coral Reefer Band. It is the 15th annual Boatyard Beach Bash, and believe it or not, there are still a very, very few tickets available. You can get them also at whatsuptix.com, or you can get them at amaritime.org. This gets underway at their Annapolis campus at 5:30, goes till 10 p.m., and this is always a blast. Sponsored by the Boatyard Bar and Grill, who is such a great benefactor to the Bay and our local nonprofits, and it is the signature fundraiser for the Annapolis Maritime Museum, and over the life, they have raised more than $1 million for the museum. All right, and after all that on Saturday, we got to look into Sunday and just sort of take it easy. The Annapolis Arts Alliance is having their 4th annual Annapolis Sketch Crawl. What the hell is a sketch crawl? And I kind of remember this last year, but what they do is you meet at the Naval Academy Visitor Center, and then you travel around town by walking with various artists at different spaces where you can sketch what you see. It gets underway at noon. It'll wrap up at about 4 p.m. at the Chase Lloyd House, where they're going to have some light refreshments and beverages. You should bring your own supplies. You draw whatever and however you choose. Paper pads, paints, digital, whatever. It's not an instructional event, but kind of a neat way to see Annapolis through a different set of eyes. Of course, Sunday does bring NFL, and the Cardinals are coming to the Ravens at 1 p.m., and the Cowgirls are coming to the Skins at 1 p.m., so pick your poison there. And while I can't say anything about the Orioles in their postseason, I can say something about the Bowie Bay Sox. They are in a fight for their 2nd Eastern League champion, and right now they are behind the series 2-1 against the Trenton Thunder, which is the AA affiliate for the New York Yankees. It is the best of 5 games, and Game 4 is at 7:05 tonight in Bowie, and tickets are still available at baysox.com. And Game 5, if necessary, which I'm hoping it will be, I hope the Bay Sox can win, will be 6:35 on Saturday night. I'm not even going to try to tell you what I think you should do. There's a ton of stuff going on around town. It's a very busy weekend. I'm sure you'll find something to do to have fun. Whatever you do, please do it safe. We want to see you here Monday. Other than that, have a great weekend.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis. And also tell them about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. This podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m., keeping you informed with the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. And take a moment to listen to our other podcast, The Maryland Crabs, released every Thursday at noon.